Hello, and welcome back to Out of the Ice.
Hey everyone, it's Kat.
And
In case you didn't catch that, that is Scott, my co-host. My co-host. So we finally went back to Batman and watched Batman Returns. I double-checked because I was curious during the movie when it came out. It is now 92 Batman.
Yes.
Yay. So we got into the movie. You had like a really neat box set for it, right?
Well, it's not a box set. It's literally just like a 4-movie collection in 2 discs. It's not a box. It's just a case.
Okay. All right. So I'm trying to think. My before movie thoughts. It's been a little while since I watched the movie. So my movie thoughts. What is this movie about? Batman Returns. Michael Keaton 2, I hope. I really loved him as Batman. I'm assuming it would take place a little bit after the Joker shenanigans. Sad face, no more. Jack Nicholson Joker, so good. No more of that. We're going to get a new villain, obviously. You know, I know during the last episode you listed off some Batman villains, but I couldn't remember any of them for the life of me.
Calendar Man.
Calendar Man, yes. I did not guess Calendar Man was going to be in this movie.
Okay. I still kind of want them to actually do a movie where the villain is Calendar Man, but you don't know that. Essentially, I want them to do a Batman movie that is an adaptation of the comic The Long Halloween, which is all about a murder. If I remember right, it's been a while since I watched it. Not watched it, read it. But it started on Halloween, obviously, and just every holiday, the same killer would kill in the same way. And I don't think it ended up being Calendar Man in the comic. Like, that was a twist. It wasn't Calendar Man. But I think if they did do that story, but made it so that the villain reveal was a person who just called himself Calendar Man, that'd be kind of cool, I think.
And I think that'd be a really fun, thing in the back. It would be kind of in the background of an overarching, Batman plot. Batman's dealing with other villain shenaniganeries, but in the background you might see, on TV or newspapers, during a certain holiday that someone was murdered or et cetera, et cetera. Keep that ongoing until you would finally address it in a way future arc or something.
Well, no, I'm not talking about, multiple movie spanning.
Well, but I was just thinking in general.
Yeah, though if they did do something where it was, a Batman movie, but it was Spider-Man Homecoming, which I guess technically Batman 89 was, because Batman was already around. It didn't explain his origin until a flashback. But if it was just Batman already Batmaning, and everybody already knows about Batman, it would be kind of neat to have, some more familiar faces, but because The Long Halloween has more familiar faces in it, too. One part, I think the Christmas part, starts with Joker just ransacking a house. But still, because, every Batman movie is the Joker, or, Bane. They've used Bane multiple times. Batman Begins was unique because it used Scarecrow. And that was actually the only character, aside from Batman, who followed through that whole Dark Knight trilogy. Scarecrow made an appearance in every single movie. But his cameos were always 2 seconds long. But I digress. Yeah.
But thinking back to because I couldn't think of actual villains, so I'm thinking well, there has to be another iconic Batman character that makes an appearance in this movie. And the two that I thought of until after I remembered that there is a movie that is titled Batman and Robin, I'm well, maybe Robin can pop up in this movie. And then the other one I thought, I'm oh, maybe Catwoman would appear in this movie. So, as general plot goes, I would assume, my idea was, after all of those Batman shenanigans, a villain, crime would be down. Maybe not completely, but a smidge. I mean, this still is Gotham. But then, a villain emerges from the darkness like, nah, bruh, this is Gotham. Movie is still in Gotham, I'm guessing. And my last note was, hey, cool, Vicky is still here. And because she damseled in the last movie, maybe she won't damsel in this movie. And those are more my pre-movie thoughts.
Yeah. So, Vicky still exists in the universe of this movie. She's just not around.
Yeah, I spent like the first half of the movie every now and then thinking like, are they gonna acknowledge that she exists? She was here last movie. She was love interest last movie. Where is she? Oh, they did her dirty. She was great.
Yeah. But the interesting thing about this is that Michael Keaton is great as Batman in this.
Oh, yeah.
Danny DeVito is amazing as the Penguin. And I remember you like, we were watching the credits.
Oh, yes.
R.I.P. to that poor cat. Freaking baby penguin just nom.
Yeah.
I guess we don't necessarily hear eating sounds, but either he killed that cat or he ate that cat. I'm gonna think he ate it.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, those parents were stone-faced about that.
You would think they would be a little more freaked, unless they've seen seen some crazier stuff. You'd think they'd be more freaked out about.
Well, I'm guessing that they were probably just like already in shock from the penguin emerging from the womb, because they did scream at that. So they were probably already being like, we gotta get rid of this baby, and then the cat thing was just like, yep, we're doing that. But I remember, you saw Danny DeVito's name and you were like, yo! And then Christopher Walken's name and you were like, yo!
Siri, here's the thing. Like, I even made a note about, like, how, like, this cast was just stacked. Like, so Danny DeVito, okay, everyone knows who Danny DeVito is. Here's the thing about Christopher Walken.
And he has a very quotable line in this movie. It's like, I am not a man. I am an animal.
Yes. The thing about Christopher Walken, because I'm like, I know him from, I know what he looks like. I know him from a movie. I know he's been in a lot of movies, and then I looked it up afterwards. I've never seen Christopher Walken in a movie until this movie, but I knew who he was. So, I mean...
It's very hard not to know who Christopher Walken is.
So, at the very least, we got that going for me, guys. I'm not completely hopeless.
just make sure you say hello to him. We'll be here all night. Remember to tip your waitress. Say hello to Christopher Walken. Hello. That's an Animaniacs joke, everybody.
But yeah, like, we had Christopher Walken, and the funny thing is, no idea who Michelle Pfeiffer was.
But she's great in this.
Oh, she was fabulous. I'm
sure I've seen Michelle Pfeiffer in other things. Off the top of my head, I don't remember what else she's been in, but I know I've seen her in other stuff. Because, like, I've got faint glimpses in my memory. But here, she essentially was given a script that says, hey, you're insane in this. And I just get the feeling that when she read that she goes insane, like balls out insane, she just went, yes! Oh, this is going to be fun.
Oh, yeah, she played it up. She was all in for Catwoman. It was phenomenal.
Oh, it was great. And let's see here. Oh, and I've got some trivia about Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. She apparently in a biography, an A&E biography, this is off of IMDb trivia, said that her Catwoman costume was vacuum sealed once she was fitted into it for scenes. So she only had a short amount of time to perform before she would have to have it opened, or she could become lightheaded and pass out. She also admitted that when she first was learning to use the whip, she accidentally cut her trainer's face with it.
Holy.
At which he acted as a complete gentleman and completed with their training. And it was so tight on her that she had trouble hearing her own voice. Tim Burton had to tell her to lower her voice register because she would often be shouting.
it's weird. Like, it feels like total insanity to vacuum seal a costume just so it looks like that, like, skin tight on you. But I can't, like, committing to the role like that, like, damn.
Yeah.
And her trainer, I wonder how that poor man is now.
She went through 60 cat suits.
60 cat suits.
And they were all $1,000 a piece.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, she's a trooper. During one scene, Michelle Pfeiffer had to put a live bird in her mouth. They had bird puppets on set, but Pfeiffer thought they all looked too fake. So she just did it.
Oh my god.
Okay. Miss Pfeiffer, if you're listening, you're not, but if you are, that is some dedication to the role.
I will say that, especially now, like, as I've gotten older and I've been watching more movies because of this jerk right here.
Hello. Hello.
Before I could not name pretty much almost any actor. Like, if someone said, "Oh, this person in this role," I'd be like, "Who?" Like, I may know what the role is, but I wouldn't know who the actor's name. I'm appreciating actors a lot more with every single movie because the lengths they go for their art are that it's insane and incredible.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a very dark movie too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because, like, there was still a bit of zane.
It feels very Batman.
Yeah, it's so
dark as hell, but also goofy.
And it's weird because I felt like there was more of a balance between the goofy. There was still plenty of goofy, silly moments in this movie, but it felt less compared to the Joker zaniness to the Penguin zaniness, if that makes any sense.
It's funny, both of the villains, Joker and Penguin, are both sexually charged in their movies. Mm-hmm. But, like, you know, Penguin, understandably, for his origin in this movie, essentially just has absolutely no clout. He has no idea how to handle himself. He just says anything. Mm-hmm. You know, like, I'll show her my French flipper technique.
Yeah.
All this stuff. He's essentially a child who grew up vindictive of the world with no social skills because he's being raised by penguins. And
speaking of which, how does he even know how to talk?
Well, remember he was looking at the city from the sewers.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
You know, like,
because he was relatively well spoken despite living in a sewer with penguins for 33 years.
Yeah, well, you know. How do the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles know how to talk?
You right.
Yeah. it's the same thing. Penguin's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle gone bad.
Oh.
Yeah. And that's why they recently did, I think, 2 crossovers, Batman and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It was a crossover between DC and IDW.
You know what? Makes sense.
Yeah, DC and IDW have been pretty friendly recently. They did a crossover between the Power Rangers and the Justice League, Batman and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I don't know if IDW has done any crossovers with Marvel. They should, if they haven't. I'm thinking, just off the top of my head here, Spider-Man and Sonic the Hedgehog. No. Miss Marvel and Sonic the Hedgehog. Because Kamala's a nerd. She's a nerd. She'd know who he is.
Oh, that's cute.
Or Gwenpool. Gwenpool would also be a good mix with Sonic. Maybe Miles. I don't know if Miles plays video games, but he's around the age where he'd be like, "Oh, dude, this is awesome."
I feel like they would have a very fun dynamic.
Yeah. Friggin'.
But so we see Penguin. His parents try to murderize him.
Yeah, his parents try, like, in the most inefficient way possible.
And this is just a recurring thing in this movie in general, especially in the beginning. Villains are dumb. If you are just killing people, it's dumb. If you're gonna go through with killing someone, you double check your work.
Always double tap.
Double tap. You learned in school to always double check your work. Just take those.
And you learned in Zombieland, always double tap.
Yeah. Double tap, cardio.
Yeah.
God, it's been a long time.
Don't make a sequel.
Yeah.
Don't make a sequel like 20 years later. Doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
Unfortunately. But it was a good effort. But what was I saying? But yeah, so the Penguins come to take care of Babu Oswald.
Yeah.
But and then it cuts to 33 years later.
But suddenly we're in a Christmas movie.
Yeah, Christmas again. Christmas comes back in February. Get ready for us to watch another Christmas movie in July.
Oh, yay. But and I had just had this question too. Do we ever know what actually happened to Penguin's parents?
No, they died.
They just died naturally.
Yeah.
Assumingly. It's assumingly they didn't get Gothamed, as I'm gonna call it now.
They could have gotten Gothamed.
Yeah.
They could have died natural causes. It's not really important.
I know, it was just a thought.
I mean, shit, Penguin could have killed him, and this could have been all part of his plan. We don't know.
Yeah, because that was my thought too. What happened.
We're not sure.
Okay.
And in the grand scheme, it doesn't really matter, because that whole him trying to find his parents was a red herring. That's not why he was in the thing. He was looking for all of the birth certificates that confirm first child.
But it's we get back into the movie, and we don't start with our friend Bruce. We start with Selina Kyle.
Selina Kyle.
At
which is funny. I'm, as the comic nerd, as soon as one, I've seen the movie before multiple times. I think at one of my parents' house, I even somewhere have a poster for the movie that just is the cat, the bat, and the penguin, and just has all of them kind of like in queen poses, but like in a totem.
Oh yeah. I think
yeah. Justice League is not the first time that they ripped off Queen in a poster. I don't know why they keep doing that, but they do. But so as soon as I heard Selina, I was like, oh, there she is, and I look over, cat has no reaction.
Yeah.
No idea.
But again, I didn't
to the
know.
Point, to the point where she even said, "Oh, beleaguered assistant. Well, she's probably gonna come back at some point."
Yeah. I mean, well, don't.
It was just funny because you had no idea why she was important, but you were like, "Oh, this is someone who's clearly being given the spotlight, even if in universe she's being ignored. Clearly, she's important." And I'm like, "Huh." I guess that's good cinematography right there.
I mean, it's obvious. Like, if you're starting a Batman movie with someone else,
yeah.
Like, and I was really drawn into her story.
Well, two other main characters, because we have Christopher Walken.
Oh my! But I'm going on about
Shriek.
I'm going on about Selina right now.
Yeah.
I was super. I like how you said I had no reaction, but I was just super drawn into her story at the beginning, dealing with this super toxic work environment.
Selina, you corn dog.
She comes home every night saying, "Honey, I'm home."
Oh wait, I'm not married.
And just going through her voicemail of like whatever issue she's having with her mom, like not calling back. And
yeah.
She just has a rough time of it, and she's clever, she's smart. She was able to break into Max's his secure documents or whatever. Like, hey, I learned about this thing. Oh no.
So, more Michelle Pfeiffer trivia.
Yeah.
When she moved houses in 2004, she found the whip used in filming. Feeling nostalgic, she went out to her yard and attempted some whip play, but according to her, she was a bit rusty.
Oh.
Well, Miss Pfeiffer, just keep practicing.
Yeah, you never know when the apocalypse is gonna hit. It'll come in handy when.
Don't need ammo for a whip.
Yeah.
Don't need ammo. Also, who knows? I mean, I think they're abandoning that storyline, but in the Justice League and Batman v Superman, Batman had already been around for a while and was a bit older. Maybe an older Catwoman. Why not?
Yeah. like, I loved the beginning with Selena because you get to see her like just like
Older,
a
more
very,
experienced.
very, very human character having a really difficult time, and just her not it wasn't even a, I mean, it was gradual in a way, but it was just very abrupt how quickly she went into complete insanity.
Mm-hmm.
She was nutty. But then we get, of course, the other character, Max, what's his face? What was the last name?
Shriek.
Max Shriek.
Hello.
I loved him.
He's such a good slimy businessman.
It was such a good contrast, like, and just like, cause
And I love that whoever was playing his son was doing a walk-in impression. Dad, yes, son, we have to go to the pageant. Ah, of course. Thank you, son. You're welcome, Dad.
Because he had just two very different villains that were just very, what's the word I'm looking for? They're very compelling and different, but both kind of scary in their own way. I adored Max, and it's weird because I normally don't like slimy rich businessman villains. I usually just kind of think they're dull. But Walken did an incredible job with Max. I wanted more of him. I wanted him on my screen like all the time. He was great.
Mm-hmm. So, you were saying that you thought Robin was going to appear in this.
Yeah.
And remember last episode I said Robin was at one point going to be introduced in the first movie.
Okay, yeah, I remember that.
At one point he was going to be introduced in this too.
Of course.
And he got written out again. Trivia time. It was intended that the character of Robin be introduced in this film. Reportedly, Tim Burton collaborated with DC Comics artist Norm Breyfogle to redesign the Robin costume for the introduction of a new Robin, Tim Drake, so that it would convincingly fit into the Dark Knight's gritty, dangerous world in the film. The winning costume was one designed by Neil Adams, but the new Robin's R symbol and bow staff was influenced by Breyfogle's presentation. Kenner Toys even produced a corresponding action figure, but when Robin was eventually written out of the script, Kenner released the toy anyway as the character newly rendered in the comics. So, in a way, we have Batman Returns to thank in part, I'm sure there were other parts of it, for Tim Drake. Who is my favorite Robin?
Oh.
I think Tim Drake is awesome. I wish he was something other than Red Robin right now, because that's a stupid name. It's too close to Robin. Like, I get it. You want a new Robin because Damien's here now. So you got to have Tim Drake doing something else. Red Robin's a dumb name. It's too close. Like, Grayson became Nightwing. Awesome. Red Robin? No. At one point, Tim Drake was going to become the third Blue Beetle. But that eventually became Jaime Reyes. So we need to... I think Tim Drake has been other things off and on too. I think at one point he was Batman for a time. Like, he's had a lot of different masks. He was Batman Beyond at one point when he was thrown into the future while Terry McGinnis was AWOL. Mm-hmm. But right now he's Red Robin, and I hate it. I hate it. Give him a new identity, one that is definitely him. Like how Red Arrow became Arsenal. That was a good name. The character of Arsenal is stupid because it's a backtrack of everything the Red Arrow had gotten up to in this point. But, a good version of Arsenal would be nice. But anyway, back to the movie.
Mm-hmm. So, we get our two focused characters interacting. Oh no, I learned about the power plant that's going to be sucking energy because...
Well, that's not quite yet.
Quite yet, no.
No, because Shriek goes down to the pageant and,
Oh, that's right.
And forgets his speech.
Oh, yeah.
Selena finds the speech and is going to give it to him, where another thing of slimy businessman Shriek, he goes, remind me to take it out on what's-her-face.
Oh.
But the party is crashed by a bunch of carnival, dark carnival characters.
And I think this was one of the 3 times I exclaimed during this movie, why does anyone live in Gotham? Why?
Well, as the Joker said in the first movie, decent people shouldn't live here.
Yeah.
They'd be happier somewhere else. But it can also be assumed that after the Joker thing, probably Gotham had a bit of a reprieve from all of the crime. Mm-hmm. At least most of the crime. After all, pretty quickly into the attack, somebody goes, "What are you waiting for? Hit the signal."
Yeah.
So they've been using Batman's help, which goes to something hilarious. They hit the signal as the carnival is going, mad and killing people. We've got big head Skelemen on bicycles who I vehemently hate just because they are annoying motherfuckers in the arcade game. I hate them. I have the NES version of the Batman Returns arcade.
Okay.
Which I'm pretty sure it was not meant for 2 buttons. But, God, they're annoying. God, they're annoying. But anyway. So the signal goes into the sky. Mm-hmm. But before it goes into the sky, we cut to stately Wayne Manor. And Bruce is just fucking brooding in the shadows of his fucking wherever. It's not his bedroom. It's just like an office in his house. Only illuminated by like the dim night outside the window. The signal goes into the sky. And then I guess probably like somehow wirelessly connected to the signal in the city. Another one goes, "Oh, I need to alert Batman." So it turns, lights up itself into a mini bat signal, which gets pointed down to a mirror, which gets pointed down to that exact room. 1, thank God he was in that room.
Yeah, really.
2, nobody's noticed that in the daytime.
Like, no one visits Bruce. Like, no one's seen that.
Nobody has seen, it's weird that he's got mini bat symbols on his roof. Must be a big Batman fan.
They find the Batcave. Wow, he's an incredible Batman cosplayer.
Alfred just lets him in. "Hello, would you like to see the Batcave?" "The what?" "Let me show you. I let Miss Vale in here once." But yeah, so, Bruce suits up, which is very cool. He just he goes into the Batcave by a slide. Goes in, suits up, car, and is on the scene pretty quick.
Yep.
And takes a bunch of them out with his car. Sets a dude on fire.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was
Batman
pretty...
kills a couple people in this movie.
Yeah, he does.
Blows up one guy.
Just no mercy. It was brutal.
Well, I think they were trying to, up the craziness of Batman himself so that he seems more of a fit for Selina. So that it doesn't come out of nowhere when he says, "We're both broken."
Yeah, okay.
I've never liked Batman being broken in that way because that's not true to the original character. Yes, Batman is always going to be hurt by his parents' deaths. It was tragic, it was scarring, but in the original comic, it didn't break him and make him go insane. It emboldened him to become a crusader of justice, to make sure that no one went through what he did again.
And I think it would have, and if they went that way with Batman instead of we're the same, it would have made Bruce and Selina's dynamic and interactions a lot more interesting too.
Yeah, because he is the original Batman did break when his parents died. Obviously, he cried, was horribly, heartbroken by it. But he was one of the few who suffers a tragedy that huge, that young, and breaks, but then reforges harder to become a paragon. That's what a lot of people don't understand about Batman. He is a paragon, just like Clark. just like Superman. The only difference is their reaction to the dark of the world. Whereas Superman decided to become a beacon, a light of hope for humanity, to fight back the darkness by, smudging it out with his own light. Batman immersed himself in the dark and screamed back at it, causing the dark to fear him more. Like, that is the difference between them. They are both paragons, but in the opposite side. With the darkness of the world in the center, essentially having to deal with both of their strategies.
Yeah.
That is Batman. But then Grant Morrison made the Killing Joke, and everybody's like, oh yeah, Batman's insane. Hey everyone, just wanted to pop in while I'm editing here. I realized that I mixed up my Moores. It was actually Alan Moore who wrote Batman the Killing Joke, not Grant Morrison. So, just before everybody, who is also a comic fan, lights the torches. I caught it. I guess I just said the wrong name while speaking. Back to the show. He's crazy. All it would take is just one bad day and he'd be exactly the same as the Joker. No, he wouldn't.
No, like, there was just something very, just not, like, I mean, yeah, dark, yes, but there's just something very human about Bruce and Batman that I really, especially in the first movie, that I really liked. I didn't really feel that as much in the second, in this movie, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like, maybe because there wasn't as many Bruce scenes as there was Batman, because I felt like, I guess I just felt like more like I'm watching Batman and not Bruce.
We did get some human sides to Bruce.
Yeah.
Like, he felt this sort of fatal attraction to Selina, again, because they're both broken, which, like I said, not my favorite take of Batman. I do like him being dark, but not edgy. I don't a lot of people like to think of Batman as the superhero that you can like without the edge, but not being so weird as saying you're a fan of the Punisher. Which, if you say you're a fan of the Punisher, you're weird. He's not a hero. He is a villain who just kills other villains. A hero would not shoot an innocent woman to get to the villain behind her.
Yikes.
Yeah, that's something the Punisher did. Punisher has killed innocent people just because they were in the way. That's the guy who's actually fucking insane. But a lot of people think that that's Batman, and it's not. Anyway, I'll get off my diatribe. I'm stepping off the soapbox.
You were making a lot of good points. I'm thinking like, do I reel this back? I'm like, no, he's in. He's all in.
Yeah, but I think Batman 1 was our longest episode, right?
Yes.
Clearly, I'm a comic book fan.
Very much so.
But anyway, to digress once again.
Batman runs into Selina.
Yeah,
Selina's like,
instantly seems, just fatally attracted to her, probably subconsciously sensing the brokenness. But also, there's that fun scene later on where he just totally burns Penguin.
Oh.
But anyway, back to where we are in the film. Batman and Selina meet for the first time. She hasn't met Bruce yet, but she meets Batman, saves her, just doesn't even give a word to her, just saves her, walks away, and then we start to get the first hints at how Selina is kind of on the edge herself, because, she makes a dark joke about like, oh, that was quick, just like all the men in my life, takes the taser, considers it for a bit, and then shocks the unconscious guy.
And finds joy in it.
Yeah, and keeps it, which will become important later. But, so he saves the day, all this stuff, and Shriek gets taken into the sewers, meets Penguin. Penguin blackmails him to work with him, saying that, all I want is to find out who I am. And if you don't, I'll blackmail you and let everybody know that, you're a really, really bad person who is polluting shit and, also had your business partner killed.
Yeah.
Here's his hand. Like, to just, Shriek is not redeemable here. He's a fucking murderous monster.
Yeah.
The only
absolutely.
humanizing part of him is that he seems to genuinely care about his son.
Yeah.
And even that might be selfishly just like, my son will carry on my legacy.
Yeah, he may, and like, people seem like at least the city, maybe just the general impression I got, they seem to kind of look up to Chip. Like, everyone thinks Chip is a great guy, so in turn makes him look like, it's like, oh, I'm the great father that raised the great Chip.
Yeah.
So.
Hello. So they start working together. And then I believe Shriek and Selena meet. Mm-hmm. We follow Selena back to her house. We see that her existence is kind of sad.
Her only friend seems to be a cat.
Named Miss Kitty.
Meow.
Which I don't think is the cat's name in the comics.
Oh.
I forget what it is, but I don't think it's Miss Kitty. It's the right type of cat, though. She has a black cat.
Mm-hmm.
AKA the best type of cat.
Oh, absolutely.
If you're looking for a cat, adopt a black cat. The shelters have a bunch of them needing homes, and they're usually friendlier anyway. But so we go to see her life, and it's like, it's just this veneer of like, cuddly happy things, but she's clearly not happy with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then she has to go back to Shriek's office. She's there alone. Actually, no, I think does she meet Bruce before this? Either way.
No, she does not.
Either way, she goes there and finds out how the power plant is actually the exact opposite. It's a giant battery that's going to steal the power out of Gotham City, probably so that he can then resell it for a higher price.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like an idiot, she admits that she knows all of this to Shriek.
Girl.
And it's like, it's not like you can just kill me. Actually, it's a lot like that.
They have a good laugh about it.
He really had me scared there. Oh, piss shot.
Push! Fake out. And somehow survives that. Like, what are the cats even doing in that scene?
Well, there's some theories about that, actually.
Okay.
If we believe what the spin-off movie Catwoman with Halle Berry says, you shouldn't, but if we believe that, they're breathing new life into her as the Catwoman. But there's another theory which I think makes more sense for this universe, where the only thing that doesn't go to that is, the very ending of the movie, but where it's her powers are not real. Because first off, Catwoman has no powers in the comics.
Okay.
That 9 lives thing, not a thing. But it's kind of assumed that, the cats gave her some cat-like powers, including having 9 lives, more agility, all that stuff. But it could be that she just fucking snapped and doesn't care, was already kind of flexible and stuff like this, and when we see her falling out of the building, she crashes through a lot of awnings and then falls onto snow.
Okay.
So it's possible that it cushioned her fall just enough to still hurt like fuck and probably give her a bit of head damage, but survive. And then the cat's just kind of like investigating, one like nibbling on her fingers and stuff wakes her up. And then the rest of the time, like she says, "You're the second man to kill me today," to Batman, in response to her falling into a truck of sand. That probably wouldn't have killed her.
No.
The next time she supposedly dies is when she falls into the like the glass terrarium on a roof, landing into potted plants. Again, would probably really hurt, but might be survivable. So it's possible that she just was nearly dying, not actually dying, but her insanity made her think that she was coming back to life by regaining consciousness. And then at the end, she was just getting shot in non-vital places. Hurt a lot, but not killing her. The only thing that goes against this theory is that she then electrocutes herself. We see Shriek has been turned into essentially the same result as when the Joker hand buzzed a guy in the first movie.
Oh, yeah.
Except worse. And Catwoman apparently survives. But, one, we only see her from the back. We don't know if it's the same Catwoman. It could be a copycat. Or it's just a fake out.
Yeah.
We don't know. We have no idea. Especially because the mask was completely destroyed and yet all of a sudden now it's perfect again. I suppose she could have made a new one, but at the end of it she seemed so freaking crazy that I don't know if she'd have the wherewithal to do that. But yeah, so those are the theories to that. It could be a little mix of the two as well. But yeah, so Selena dies, air quotes, and comes back, repeats the honey, I'm home, all that stuff, is like essentially just trying to act like everything is normal.
Goes to milk the cat.
Yeah, like give the cat some milk. What you said gives a very different impression.
What?
Milk the cat.
Oh my god.
Gross. You're sick.
You're disgusting.
You're a sicko. But accidentally pours milk on the cat's head. Poor thing.
Because I was trying to reference.
Didn't deserve this.
I was trying to reference from when we play Stardew Valley. It's like, did you water the dog?
Yeah.
But
drinks the rest of the milk herself. Throws the carton. No, still has the carton, and here's an advertisement from the Shriek Corporation. Hearing the word Shriek, she just completely loses her goddamn mind. And starts destroying her apartment, spray painting stuff black, like
putting her stuffed animals in the
garbage disposal and all this stuff, and makes her Catwoman suit. I'm guessing as a mockery of Batman's suit. I think is supposed to be the symbolism there, because later on she says, I'm done, waiting for some Batman to save you. Batman didn't save her, so this is probably a mockery. Instead of Batman, she's Catwoman. So, all of that stuff happens, and now Catwoman is born. We then, go to a staged kidnapping of the mayor's kid.
Yep.
Penguin comes out, looks like the hero boy.
Oh.
And is like really playing to the crowd, saying oh, I'm so tortured and misunderstood, but I'm a good boy.
I just want to know what happened to my family.
To my mama and dada.
Yeah. I want to know my real name.
And all that stuff. But very quickly it's obvious that this is all an act. And he's just a freaking weirdo perv. Like kind of juvenile too. Which Danny DeVito trivia from IMDb, he apparently stayed in character between takes.
Oh my god.
I am not a man. I am an animal.
Oh my god.
Which I love as the reverse of the, a penguin is a flightless bird. I am a man. I have a name. All that stuff. But so Shriek eventually is like, hey, I'm going to make you mayor. Because, even though Penguin is clearly playing Shriek, Shriek is now trying to play Penguin.
And I love this because, we got both of these villains working together but also against each other.
Yeah.
Like even though Max was in the, like he was in the worst position beforehand, he still has his own motives and is still smart and clever enough to try to turn that around.
Yeah, and so they're now trying to get Oswald to be mayor by both discrediting the mayor and discrediting Batman, saying, hey, you can't rely on Batman to help you, because they're trying to frame Batman as, like, a murderer and, like, all this stuff. Like, they literally attack, what was it? Gotham's princess, like the Princess of Gotham.
Yeah.
With a batarang that they stole from Batman, which is great. It's like, oh, what is that? Some kind of camera? Yeah, say cheese. Dummy. They trick Catwoman into working with them by saying they're just going to scare the princess. But they kill her. Make it seem like it was Batman who did it. So now everybody's against Batman. Batman gets chased by the cops. But as kind of, especially because, Penguin takes control of the Batmobile, hacks the Batmobile.
Oh, yeah.
In a tiny little, like, coin-operated Batmobile, which the mall here in town used to have a coin-operated Batmobile from that movie.
Wait, no, from the
Burton movies.
So it's not the exact one. It's
not the exact one, but it was one of those, like, shaky, like, car rides shaped like the Batmobile.
I could definitely see little Scott just loving that.
I did it all the time. It played the Batman theme. It played the Batman theme, and it was a little bit, like, more shaky and stuff than the other ones that would just go back and forth very gently. This one kind of went woo, 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 all that stuff. So it was very cool. And I think it had, like, if I'm remembering correctly, you could actually turn the wheel and it would make it, like, tilt a little bit. It was very neat. They don't have it anymore. They got rid of it when I was too old to do it for, like, years. But when they redid the mall and I saw that it was gone, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Now kids won't get to experience that. That sucks.
Aw.
I hope it's somewhere. Like, they didn't just, like, trash it.
When did All Aboard the Choo Choo Train come into play?
That was actually fairly recently.
Okay.
Yeah, I think within the last 5 years. There's a choo-choo train at the mall that plays a Cardi B song. All aboard the choo-choo train, all aboard the choo-choo train. All my friends are here on the train, looking through the windows. It's awful. Apparently, most people in the mall, in the mall shops, hate it.
The operator looks dead on the. There was never been an operator that looked happy to be in there.
He's never like, come on, kids. He just looks like, ugh, this is my life. Especially because they're usually like retirement age looking people.
Yeah.
Sad. But back to the movie. So Batman finally gets control back of the Batmobile, and haha, joke's on Penguin. He'd been recording everything that the Penguin said.
I loved the back and forth between, Batman, I'm gonna ruin your image. No, I'm gonna ruin your image.
Which slightly before that, by the way, there's a meeting between Batman and Penguin where he, is like, oh, I'm gonna be mayor and all this stuff, and Catwoman just backflips into the scene. It's like, meow. And just boom, Shriek's building blows up.
And now that I'm thinking about just the meetings, like there was a point in the movie where Max, Bruce, and Selina
are all there.
They're all there, and Bruce just slips up. He's like, "Oh yeah, we've met."
Have we? No, yeah, he's just taken off guard.
Ooh, I'm like, come on, Bruce, you're smarter than this.
Yeah. Well, there's a scene later on between them that's freaking brilliant, though, near the end of the movie. But Bruce and Selina, they're having a date, and the thing with the Ice Princess is happening, and they both are making excuses to Alfred, and I love how it kind of shows they are broken but different. There are some semblances of, yes, Batman is broken but way more put together than Selina, probably because he had Alfred. Like, he had
had
Alfred,
Alfred,
he
I
had
think
Vicky for a time.
I think he's had more time to kind of process
Yeah.
off his tragedy.
Yeah, but, like, so he's very, like, you know, competent and, you know, inside, like, in his own way, you know, kind of confident in suiting up. Meanwhile, fucking Selena is in her car shakily, like, trying to put it on and stuff like this.
It made me think of, like, any, you know, like, someone's just trying to get ready in the car, like, put all, like, driving and putting their makeup up on the same time.
Yeah,
like,
it's
a mess.
It's pretty funny. The dynamic of them is really good. To the point where I'm like, man, I kind of hope they became friends during the set. Like, I hope they chat. I hope they hang out because they seem to get along. So the Ice Princess stuff happens. You know, Batman gets control of the thing, and at the date with Selena at Wayne Manor is when they mention Vicky. It's like, oh, it didn't work out. You know, there's a bunch of, like, things of, like, saying she couldn't handle that I was Batman without saying Batman and all this stuff. And there's a sad line from Selena where it's like, oh, he makes me feel like I hope I really am. And I'm like, oh,
no.
Get some therapy, girl. Please. Also, you know, testify against Shriek.
Yeah, seriously.
But, so I love the little jab when, like, you know, he's reaching into the aquarium to flip the thing to get to the Batcave. He's like, it's like, oh, this isn't the best for security, Master Wayne. Oh, you know about security? You freaking let Vicky into the Batcave. I love that little jibe.
Alfred is the best. Honestly, Alfred is best boy. I love him.
He continues through all of the movies, even when Michael Keaton leaves.
Aww.
Even when, you know, other people leave, he's still there. Smaller and smaller parts, unfortunately, but he's still there.
Still there, being a good boy.
Yeah.
Doing his job very well.
Yeah. So then what comes next? Oh yeah, so they're in the Batcave. And, like, both of them are kind of jovial about it. I guess because they both know what they're about to do. And they're like, oh, we're going to get him. We're going to get him. And this is where, like, you know, the kind of human part of, like, Batman kind of enjoying being Batman, sticking it to him. They find the frequency. They take over the speech that Penguin's doing. And they just out him. You know, it's like, I've played this city like a fiddle. Like... all this stuff and like fiddle.
That was so funny.
Scratching the CD as if it was a record. It's really funny.
And
very 90s.
And then, and you know, like, and everyone starts booing Penguin.
Throwing vegetables. Where did they get those? Where did they get those? Where did those come from?
Oh my god. And, you know, he just kind of nopes back into the sewers.
Yeah, nopes back into the sewers. That's where he goes, I'm not a man! I'm an animal! Can I offer you an egg in this trying time?
Oh, DeVito.
Oh, I love him. He's great. Would you like to try the Keurig?
You haven't seen Jumanji Next Level, right?
I haven't seen Next Level yet, no.
Okay.
I've seen Welcome to the Jungle.
Okay, because DeVito was really funny.
Yeah, I'm sure. When is he not?
Yeah. But yeah, so we get back in the sewer. He reveals his grand plan to kidnap children. And
all of the children.
Yeah.
And, you know, essentially like rob them of their futures as his future was robbed from him. But instead of taking them to the sewers to have them raised by penguins, he's just gonna drown them.
Yeah.
He's gonna drown them. Seems a bit unfair, but okay. And so at one point, there's a masquerade ball. And I already knew this stuff, but it says it on IMDb trivia too, so it helped me like figure out how I was going to say this. The whole masquerade scene is very symbolic because everybody is in masquerade costumes. Except for two people.
Bruce and Selena.
Bruce and Selena. Aww. Because their normal face is the mask.
It's symbolic.
Yeah. But also I love Christopher Walken walking all over the scene when he's there. It's like, let me guess, you're dressed as a trust fund goody-goody. All this stuff. And, you know, it's like, oh, the, like, mayors come and go. It doesn't really matter to people at our level. I think it does. Yawn. Walks away.
But and I'm thinking about the masquerade ball, like the scene before it when Alfred comes in with the invitation.
Yeah, rips it up, and then like it's like, no, I'm not gonna go. Rips it up. Well, Selena might be there. Actually, you know what? I am gonna go. Like it's just like
staring at it.
Kind of wish you'd said that before I tore it up. Now I gotta try to find the number again.
Oh, Alfred.
Dick. It's like, Dick. No, he's not here yet. Because Richard Grayson. It's funny. It's Robin. I'll leave.
He's left the building, ladies and gentlemen. Bye. I guess I gotta do the rest of this by myself. I'm screwed. Oh.
I'm back!
Oh, okay. Hi.
You can't get rid of me. But yeah, so... my favorite scene between Bruce and Selena happens.
This was one of my favorite scenes.
Where it's like, oh, I came for you. Oh, I wish I could say the same, but I came for Shriek. Not you and Shriek. No, the gun and Shriek. Yeah. And Bruce is just like, what the fuck? Like, oh, this escalated quickly. Put that down. Hide that. Selena, please. And they say something. But the reverse, you know, like, Batman, for some reason, says, like, you know, they see mistletoe while they're fighting at one point. Mm-hmm. And it's like, mistletoe can be deadly if you eat it. Mm-hmm. Why he brought that up, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess the fatal attraction thing. But, you know, Catwoman says, but even deadlier, a kiss can be even deadlier if you mean it. And Selena... at one point sees mistletoe and is like, it could be deadly if you eat it. He starts to say a kiss can be deadlier if you mean it, pauses, and they both kind of realize, oh shit. And it's kind of really like powerful because like Bruce is just kind of stunned, but when we turn to see Selena realizing it, she is in tears. Mm-hmm. Like she's in tears because she's like, oh no, I thought this guy could save me, but he's the one I have to fight. Like, and she even like, you know, they both like embrace, and she's like, does this mean we have to start fighting?
Yeah, she's just.
And it sucks. And I'm just like, no, Selena, please.
Just stop. It's okay.
You know,
it's okay.
But you know, there's the climactic battle where, you know, Penguin shows up, and both Selena and Bruce leave. You know, they get out of there. And Penguin is like, oh, you know, I've taken all your kids, you know, as you're doing this, and I'm going to freaking drown them. Mm-hmm. And I'm here for Chip.
Come here, Chippy boy.
Yeah, and Shriek shows his one side of humanity is like, if there's any humanity in you, take me instead. Well, there isn't, so no. I'm the one you want dead. And you're right about that. All right, come on. So, you know, he takes Max, puts him in a thing, leading up to my second favorite scene in this movie, which is a very quick scene. But first, you know, they're trying to Pied Piper all of the chillin', you know, put them into the train. It's like, hurry up, the Bat could be here at any moment.
All aboard the choo-choo train.
Stop it. The Bat could be here at any moment. Which, that guy, the guy who had the monkey, I don't know why, but he looks so familiar. I need to figure out who he was, because I feel like I've seen him in other stuff. Either that, or he just looks unique enough that I'm remembering from the last time I saw the movie. Okay. But he just... Because he had this face where, like, he when his mouth was closed, he was very stoic, but he also, like, could pull off some near Jim Carrey level of, like, open mouth. Wah! Very unique. If you know who he is, write it in the comments. Or in a review that is rated 5 stars.
Yeah.
Really helps us out. Ding the bell. Click subscribe. Share it. I'll say this again at the end. But so the monkey comes back. Nobody else does. Holding a note. And it just has the Batman symbol on it saying, like, I regret to inform you that the children couldn't make it. Sincerely yours, Batman. Which I love. I love that Bruce took the time out to put that note and give it to the monkey.
I guess it is very subtle, like just how much fun Bruce is.
Yeah, this is his outlet. You know, some people draw, some people write, other people, you know, get in a freaking bat suit and beat the shit out of people.
For justice.
For justice. Justice! I am the law. All right.
And I was gonna say, I'm trying to remember when we get to the March of the Deadly Penguins.
Oh, that's next. Like, that's
yes.
right next. Because it's like, oh, Batman ruined my plan, so now we go on to Plan C. It's like, my children, penguin children. You know, it's like, it's all right to be scared. Some of you won't be coming back. But we, because of Batman, have to take this whole city and punish them. Not just the firstborn, but everyone. Every man, woman, and child. And it just shows that all of these penguins are just, they're strapped to rockets. And they're just waddling through the city. Just, Newt, Newt. It's like, Pingu, no.
Oh, penguins.
Newt, Newt. And they're all, you know, just getting frequencies from the helmet telling them where to go. And so while this is happening, you know, like, Shriek sees that the monkey has the keys. He's like, hey, monkey, come here.
Oh, this was such a good scene.
Monkey, come here. Takes the keys from the monkey, and the face that the monkey makes.
It was so...
Look up this scene. It's so good. That monkey is such a great actor. Because, like, as soon as the keys are taken from him, he just goes, oh! Like, that face that you're imagining in your head with me going, oh! That face of like, oh, I've been tricked. Oh, I've been duped. Oh, shenanigans.
It was so great.
It's so good. I'm so glad they didn't pan too quick. That face is amazing. Just that monkey going, ah!
Oh, man.
I have been tricked. You have deceived me. I feel betrayed. So good.
How did Batman ended up stopping the penguins?
He jammed the frequency.
Okay. And
sent it back to the zoo.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, confronts the penguin. Penguin tries to escape in the rubber ducky car. Mm-hmm. Batman cuts him off, destroys the freaking thing. Mm-hmm. They get in a scuffle.
Some point his gang just nopes out of there.
Yeah, as they see Batman showing up, they're all just like, fucking peace.
Smart henchmen.
Yeah. Which at first I thought they were setting up to ambush Batman. No, they're just fucking leaving. They're just like, nope.
Bye.
It's like, we've had to fight Batman before and it sucked. Nah, we're not doing that again. You're on your own.
We like to live.
Yeah, also you shot one of our guys.
Yeah, they didn't seem to take too well to that.
No, like, it's like killing kids, Penguin. Ain't that a little bang? No, it's a lot.
It was, yeah, definitely a very different reaction from what, I mean, because it seemed like the henchmen when Joker shot Bob in the last
didn't give a shit.
Yeah, they didn't care. These villains were like, oh.
Yeah, because they're from a circus.
Yeah.
Like, so they were probably closer knit. Whereas, like, you know, the Joker's henchmen were just, you know, taken from a mob.
Yeah, they're basically already criminals as it was.
Yeah. So, which it becomes important later that the clown that's dead gets put into the water because Shriek falls into the water at one point, finds the gun, takes it, before being pulled out by the Catwoman. I would have thought that after being in the water that long, that pistol would have been fucking useless. But it was a modern pistol, so maybe not. I don't know.
Movie logic.
Yeah, like, you'd think that pistol would be waterlogged, but who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe it was a closed chamber gun. It didn't look like it, but maybe.
But Penguin didn't really seem like he stood a chance when Batman showed
No,
up.
no, not at all. Like he had a a sword umbrella,
Yeah.
but Batman had the button to release all the rockets.
Mm-hmm.
Penguin gets it, fires it. I guess he thought that it would still be trained on Gotham. No, it's trained on the zoo. It starts destroying the zoo. And Penguin, I forget if he gets pushed or if he just falls. I think he falls into the exploding, Arctic world exhibit. And then it's time to deal with Shriek and Catwoman. Mm-hmm. So Shriek is about to, kill... No, Catwoman's got him on the ropes more.
Yeah.
And so... reveals that it's Selina Kyle. Mm-hmm. Batman shows up and is like, Selina, don't do this. Let's just arrest him.
Yeah.
We can just turn him in. He doesn't have to die. Unveils himself, which if Shriek hadn't died, how was that gonna happen?
Oh yeah, that was kind of dumb.
It would have been over.
Yeah, again, it's been established that Shriek is very slimy.
Yeah.
He would have
immediately just been like, oh, by the way, Bruce is Batman.
Yeah.
Also, he didn't take off the mask. He ripped it off.
Yeah.
He ripped the mask apart.
I mean, he had 20 more suits in the Batcave.
Well, yeah, but not on hand.
Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, that dumb.
So I'm guessing that he was intending to just give it up to save Selina.
Oh.
Just give up the fight, at least for a bit. But it's like, just let's arrest him and we can go home together. And Selina's just like, I'd love to live with you in your castle, but I don't think I'm a fairy tale princess. All that stuff, and knocks out Bruce or somehow subdues him. Goes to kill Shriek. Shriek shoots her, and she starts counting up
all the lives that she's used through them.
Yeah, and she's up to 7. I was like, I think I'll save one for next Christmas. But for now, brings out the taser. Where was she keeping that? Brings out the taser.
Yeah, really, the suit's so tight. Where got bitten?
Yeah, brings out the taser. Puts it to her, takes a live wire, is electrocuting herself, kisses the taser, puts it to his mouth, and electrocutes both of them.
Yeah.
Him being Shriek. And then, Bruce is like, oh shit, goes uncovering the thing, finds Shriek's body, and is about to look for Selina, but hears the Penguin behind him, who's, very much bleeding out, just pouring blood out of his wounds, but grabs an umbrella to shoot Batman. It opens up and it's the little play wheel umbrella, and he just goes, shit. Drops it. I was like, I'll find another umbrella and kill you, but first a drink of ice water, and just passes out. And then the Penguins give him a watery funeral.
Oh, that was sad. Penguin was an irredeemable jackass, but the Penguins, man, they were just looking after their son, their brother,
their boy.
Yeah, their weird human boy.
Yeah, but and so that was a nice little Tim Burton-y kind of thing, and so it then cuts to a little bit later.
Yeah.
Bruce is in the car with Alfred and thinks he sees Selina, but finds Miss Kitty.
Yeah.
Takes Miss Kitty home.
Oh, little kitty cat.
Not appearing in the next film, Miss Kitty.
Yeah.
It pans up.
It's man. Basically, Alfred and Bruce man, what a shit Christmas.
Yeah, fucking damn. It pans up and it's oh, Catwoman's alive. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Won't be appearing in the next film.
Yeah, but, we're just doing this thing because it's cool, I guess. I don't know. Bye.
So, more trivia. This is essentially where the series ends.
Yeah.
It continues, but no. essentially after this,
Mike, because I was looking some stuff after, like when I was taking my notes to make, like just to confirm a few things. I did see that this Michael Keaton doesn't return after this.
The next is Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, and it's essentially a soft reboot. And the reason is this movie was deemed way too dark by the studio. Once it came out, like a lot of people were like, "No, this is too dark for a kids movie."
It's not. I would have never thought that this was a kids movie.
But it's Batman. So all of the soccer moms were like, "I took my children to this, and there was blood. How could you? You're poisoning the youth of America." Somebody think of the children.
You're the one that brought your kids to Batman. You should have done your research, Karen.
Yeah, and there was like, and they couldn't do a bunch more merchandising with it because, like, at one point, I think it was said that McDonald's had a toy line all, drawn up to tie into the movie. And then a McDonald's executive saw like a test screening of the movie and was like, there is no way. There's no way. I think the only thing that actually tied into the movie was there was like a Coca-Cola ad where like the whole city is like, under attack and Batman is in the Batmobile racing to find a Coke. Which is a weird ass commercial. But yeah, so like they were like, "Oh, this is too dark. Kick out Tim Burton."
Oh man.
And bring in Joel Schumacher, also known as the guy who's eventually going to make the movie version of Phantom of the Opera, the musical. And is going to introduce the bat nipples.
The bat nipples.
And a bat credit card!
What? Okay.
Some of you will get that joke.
Maybe someday, viewer.
No.
Maybe someday, listeners. Maybe someday.
Do you want to watch a bunch of really old Nostalgia Critic videos?
Maybe eventually.
A bat credit card! I'll kill you! I'll kill you!
Oh. But yeah, so we have a soft reboot because no more Keaton. They bring in a new director. Do they retcon some stuff?
Not necessarily. Like I said, it's a soft reboot. They just don't really mention the other stuff. And essentially they start bringing it closer back to Adam West-esque Batman stuff. And it's not as good. It's not as good. It's not as good. But we'll probably watch them eventually. But this is essentially the end of the Burton-verse. From this point on, there's 2 more Batman movies that are kind of, sort of, in this same universe. Like, there's some sets that are in it. And, it's supposedly the same thing. It's not. But it's supposedly the same thing. And, we'll watch those eventually.
Maybe, yeah.
But I'm not nearly as hyped for it. I'm gonna let you know right now.
That's really encouraging me right now. Be like,
I don't know. They're fun. They're just really stupid.
Okay, that if I have to make sure I go into some things with like lower expectations, I guess.
Like, let's see here. Hold on a second.
All right, listeners, he's going over to the movies. He's pulling it out.
All right. The next one.
Ow.
The next one, because I can never remember which is first, Batman and Robin, or Batman and Batman Forever. So let's see. Okay, so apparently the third movie still has Tim Burton as producer.
Huh.
So I guess technically it's still considered the Burtonverse? Maybe? I'll have to check on that. But cuz it's definitely not as dark, but it's the one, well, here, this might make you more excited for it.
Why?
Cuz it's the thing I like. The next one has Jim Carrey as the Riddler. Which I will say, Perfect casting.
And what a day to bring that up.
We're going to see Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie, later today to date this.
So get some good old Jim Carrey for that. So.
Yeah, Batman Forever is next in this little retroactive look at the old Batman series. And Batman Forever, again, is okay. There's a lot of quotable moments. You know, Jim Carrey being Jim Carrey. Very good. What sort of a man has bats on the brain? A Batman. I'm sucking out your insides. I'm lapping up your brain. All that stuff.
Yeah. Like, so I guess I'm trying to think of, like, my overall thoughts on Batman Returns, and I did enjoy the movie. I had a good time watching it. You obviously had your hero in Batman, but he wasn't quite the same because now you got him killing people. So it just felt like, even though there were still human moments in the movie, it just felt less so. Mm-hmm. Then you had, it just felt like almost everybody around you was a villain, and it just didn't have, like, by no means is Batman lighthearted, fun adventure times, but it just, I wish I can pinpoint it. It just felt like something was kind of missing compared to the last movie. It was still a good movie. I still enjoyed it.
And his name is Jack.
I really don't want to say it because I still really liked DeVito as the Penguin, but maybe it was because even though the Joker was very obviously insane, there was also a lot of silly zaniness to it, where the Penguin didn't really have that as much. So maybe
the comedy was a lot more dark in this one. But something I am very excited for, once we get done with the current series that we're working on, for people who maybe haven't seen that episode, we're also going through the arcs of Dragon Ball.
Yes.
But after that, we have watched enough standalone material to watch Batman the Animated Series.
Oh, yeah, we have.
Very much based on the Tim Burton style, along with some other things, obviously based on the comics and, all sorts of stuff like that. But a lot of the darker tones and, the palette and all that stuff, very much based on the Tim Burton movies. And one of my favorite shows ever.
Aww.
The first show as a kid that I thought, wasn't trying to talk down to me as a child. Which, I can tell you right now, that's how you get on my good side. That's how you get on Kid Me's good side. Don't talk down to him.
But yeah, we have always more Batman content, but I'm not sure what's coming up next. Is it more Batman? Is it Dragon Ball? Is it
I'm thinking we'll probably do some more Dragon Ball.
Yeah, no, definitely more Dragon Ball. Maybe just a short break from Batman, into something else too.
The next superhero movie I think we should cover is Superman.
You know what? I don't know diddly squat about I know even less about Superman than Batman. I know Superman's name is I don't even know.
No, go ahead. Say it.
No.
Say it.
Clark Kent?
Yes.
Yay! Ding, ding, ding.
But what's his Kryptonian name?
I don't know.
Give you a hint. It starts with a K.
Kryptonite.
No. Kryptonite is the thing that kills him. Kryptonite is shards of Krypton that followed in the wake of his ship as it escaped the blast of Krypton, irradiated by space radiation to the point where it kills him.
So I guess we're watching Superman next, guys. Scott just gave me this look of, good God.
Literally one of the most popular superheroes ever. like many people would say that he is the beginning of the modern superhero.
I'm sorry.
But there's another thing we could watch. Hold on.
Oh, what do we got? What do we got? What do we got?
1 second. We could also switch over to the other of the big two and watch a Marvel production,
Okay.
but not one of the MCU films.
Oh, yeah,
It's far too soon for that. So how about a Marvel made-for-TV movie from the 70s?
Is it the Captain America one?
It's the Captain America one.
You know, you did show me the first one at one
But do you
point.
remember it? And I know for a fact I haven't shown you the second.
Yeah.
Starring Saruman.
I
And both of them star my boy, my good boy, my childhood hero, Reb Brown, who some of you may know as Yor from Yor, the Hunter from the Future, which is literally what it says on the back of this DVD case. Stars Reb Brown, parentheses, Yor, Hunter from the Future. And I love how it says featuring Christopher Lee, Lord of the Rings. He wasn't in Lord of the Rings for like 30 years after. Because again, this was the 70s.
Oh, God.
But this is, I love these movies. They're awful. Well, the second one's actually decent. But
I will never forget that dumb shield, though.
da 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 da
Oh.
da.
See, I don't. Do I remember the specifics of the movie? No. Do I remember that dumb shield? Absolutely.
With the clear instead of the white,
Yes.
and they don't give it a metallic sound at all, so it just goes dunk.
It just looks like a plastic frisbee.
Because it is. But something that I do love is that on his motorcycle, his red, white, and blue motorcycle, he puts it on the front as a windshield. That's actually kind of creative, a second use for the shield. And in the comics, he would later go on to put his shield on the front of his Harley. It's a different type of motorcycle, but he would do that. Usually, if he was about to, hit somebody with his motorcycle. Just some badass villain that he knows would survive it, like Crossbones. Just fuck it, I'm gonna hit him with my motorcycle. Which then later evolved into that scene from Age of Ultron, where Cap literally just flips on his motorcycle to throw it at somebody.
Nice.
Also, fun fact, the first appearance of the modern day version of a World War II Harley that has been refurbished and was given to Captain America to use as his vehicle was in a comic where there was a chop shop run by runaway teenagers and like gang members headed by Dr. Octopus.
Huh.
He gets his motorcycle from a comic where he fights Doc Ock. And it's glorious. And I have it.
But so yeah, we have a couple things that we could watch next for sure. But we'll make sure to keep all of you in the loop and maybe figure out what will be next. It could be that, it could be this, it could be that. I don't know.
Yeah, and since you've already seen Captain America, something we could do is we could bring in a guest for that.
That would be kind of fun. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, yeah, don't mind us, listeners. We're just brainstorming with you guys.
Yeah.
But
this has gone on long enough. So.
Alrighty, so as you should hopefully know by now, crossing my fingers to the, I don't know how many of you, we have a Twitter. Follow the podcast at Out of the Ice Pod 1.
And from there you can connect to both of our Twitters, too.
Yep, I'm Cat27.
And I'm Mutagen Works.
Yeah. So
you can come see me post art and retweet things that I think are funny.
I'll mostly be retweeting stuff that we do on Out of the Ice, or probably retweeting Survivor and baseball memes.
Yeah. And from there, you could probably find our friend Lundell, who just posts people saying that they want to kill the new infant Mr. Peanut.
What?
Yeah, have you not seen that?
No.
He just retweets people being like, I'm gonna kill that peanut.
I need to follow Lundell on Twitter.
It's great. He fucking hates that thing. Rightly so.
Oh, great. Now I got something to do once we end this.
Yeah.
But for now, I'm Kat.
I'm Storm.
And we're out of the ice.
Quapush.
Goodbye, everyone. See you next time.
And remember, we have a YouTube too.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. We're up to like 8 subscribers. Get that shit up to 10 and I'll do something cool.
Yeah.
I've got a plan already.
What?
I do. Kat's gonna hate it.
Oh no, guys, I'm scared.
Do it.
No.
She'll hate it. Do it.
Ah.